Hi, my name is Valerie Lang and I'm part of the AAPNZ Christchurch Admins Group. In 2017, I won the award for Admin Professional of the Year. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the process I went through. So, to decide that I wanted to enter was the first big step. I'd looked at ways that I could benchmark myself. I haven't got any peers in my current company that are doing the same job. I had talked to new managers and asked them around what they expected from a PA or EA, and I had some idea of where I sat in the spectrum of that. But I thought that using the Admin Professional Award would be another way of benchmarking. So the application form comes with some key criteria that you have to fill in. So the process that I went through was to take all of my experiences, my skill sets, and do a big brain dump into each of those criteria. Then I set about refining that into a cohesive couple of paragraphs for each one. I went slightly overboard with the information for a start. Better to have too much than not enough. I then got that peer reviewed once I had done a bit of a refinement with people in my admin team. They came back with some really good suggestions. What about this? You haven't thought about this. You're using a negative here when you should be highlighting the positive. That sort of thing. I then refined it even further and had more people review it. This process alone allowed me to get a really good handle on my skills and my expertise and the things that I bring to the table for my company. So then part of the process was to get that reviewed by my manager, and he had some really good things to add that I hadn't thought of. So this whole process was really valuable. Alongside this is a letter from your employer, and because I work for a very busy general manager, he said, I'll write it, you write it, Val, and I'll sign it. So I just did a basic, Valerie Lang has been employed by this company for this amount of time, and we support her in her endeavours. I sent that off for him to sign, and he just immediately said, no, that's not good enough. We need to do this. And he wrote a massive amount of information supporting me. So I was really, really honoured to receive that. The next step was to put the application in. And once I had been come back as a finalist, then the nerves sort of started to set in. This is getting to be quite real now. So the next step is there are 3 finalists, and you have to go through an interview stage with 3 people, and then there's a speech in front of the conference, a 5-minute speech, and it's timed, and you're given a bell when you've sort of come out to the end, and then it's presented that night. So I've never spoken in front of a group of people before, so this was something new. So to prepare for the interview, I did mock interviews with different people in my company, and I looked at the criteria again and had sort of answers to all those questions in the back of my mind as well. So that helped. With the speech, I had been to Toastmasters, so I had a bit of an idea of how to formulate a speech. So I did that, and then I refined again. Getting the 5-minute time frame was a wee bit daunting. You tend to rush, you tend to slow down, and you have to really know your subject. I didn't want to have notes and be reading off those. So I wrote my speech, I refined it, I then practiced, practiced 100 times. I practiced in front of people. I practiced in front of the mirror. The end practice that I did was in front of my whole company. So I gave my speech to my whole company, and they were blown away. I received a lot of feedback, and it was always positive and constructive. And I found that a really empowering process to go through. So I would urge you all to put an application form in for the Admin Professional Award this year. It's really empowering. Just the process of writing out the key criteria and looking back on what skills you bring to the table and the value you add to your current company is just empowering. Since the award, I've been able to contribute more to my company. I'm part of the strategic team looking at long-term strategies for our company. I have a voice at the table and I'm not afraid to use it. I can speak in front of people and I have grown significantly in my career. Thank you for listening, and please put an application in. Thank you.